Hello, my name is Jerry Wise, and I'm a therapist at Family Tree Counseling Associates in Carmel, Indiana, on the north side of Indianapolis. And this video today is entitled, Stop Controlling Yourself and Others Through Black and White Thinking. I work with a lot of folks who grew up in dysfunctional families. We also call ourselves adult children of dysfunctional families, adult children of abuse, adult children of alcoholics. But when I say adult child, that's what I mean. And a lot of dysfunctional families create an environment in which those who grow up in them take on and get trapped in black and white thinking. And I wanted to address this today in the video. Let me give some examples of black and white thinking and black and white thinking distortion. Also, we call it all or nothing thinking. I kind of call it A and B thinking. What I mean is people only know options of A or B and have no idea what C is or option C is. And I do a lot of option C work with clients because many times they don't understand that there are option C's, and C's are very possible. They only believe A's and B's are possible, either or. There's no third option. Here's some examples, and you may have heard some of these. You have never loved me. That's a part of black and white thinking. It's using one of those extreme words of never. Your mother has always tried to come between us. Again, the use of always. Friends or family asking you, you got to choose between me and them. And again, there's only one option. Choose them or choose me. There's only two options, There's no third option. Another would be, if I don't divorce, I will never be happy. So either I divorce and be happy, or I don't divorce and I will be totally miserable. A or B. There's no C. Don't talk about that. It will make your father mad. And again, if you talk about that, you make your father mad. If you don't talk about it, then dad will be happy, or at least not mad. If you talk about mom's alcoholism, then you don't love and support her or our family. Again, either or. If I don't loan you this money, then I'm a worthless, unloving friend or spouse or brother or sister or coworker or whoever we are. My daughter got a D on her report card. I'm a terrible parent. The reason you lost your job was because God was not pleased with your spiritual life, so He's teaching you a lesson. And again, there's no gray. Since you may got unhappy, now you're going to get the consequences of that. There's no in-between ground. There's no C option. And a classic one I think a lot of people will relate to, particularly women, if the dishes aren't done, then my house is not clean. I consider my house a mess if the dishes aren't done. If they're done, then the house can be clean. If they're not done, they're not. It's not. So where do we learn black and white thinking? Growing up in our family of origin, we begin the long road of a life of black and white thinking where things are simply good or bad, right or wrong, success or total failure, winning or losing, love or rejection. We have lived that pendulum life of extreme thinking, and that's what often occurs in dysfunctional families. We learn from our family of origin and learn from our childhood, and our life experiences confirm this thinking and the rightness of it. Not only do we have this paradigm, but then our life ends up proving the paradigm to us. So, where do we get this black and white thinking? Underneath black and white thinking is a very critical perfectionism. We also have a fear of imperfection and failure. We also experience low self-esteem and having learned that we can never live up to unrealistic expectations. And again, that forces a black and white thinking, an either-or thinking. And again, feeling less than or low self-esteem causes black and white thinking to begin to take form and shape and then persist throughout our adulthood. Another forming approach, a forming factor in black and white thinking, is an overvaluation on externals versus internals. Meaning an overvaluation on success, money, winning, being better than others, being valued for what you do, not who you are. And again, that overvaluation on the external things. Do I have that perfect house? Do I have that really nice car that someone else doesn't have? Does everything look fine? Versus what's going on inside of me. And an emphasis on an interior life or inner life. It's more focused on externals. Also in dysfunctional families, we find that deficits must be covered up by all or nothing thinking. Gray thinking, or option C thinking, again there's only A or B, can't have C. If you have C or gray thinking, it's not just black and white, is very fearful and makes folks very uncomfortable. Gray thinking or gray beliefs make God, others, my parents, or the boss, or whomever unhappy. If you don't think that's the case, let me give you an example. One of my undergraduate degrees is in political science, so I'm very interested in politics and government, and have a pretty good understanding of politics and government. But one thing I know, that having talked to both those on the right and those on the left, the more extreme they are on those ends, the more they think in black and white thinking. In other words, for example, now with President Obama in the White House, President Obama is all good or all bad. And if you talk to those in the extreme, you're going to get those black and white thinkers who either think, again, Obama is all good or Obama is completely all bad. Just look on your Facebook postings and you'll see people from both sides. The difficulty is the truth lies in the middle. The truth lies in the gray side. It's more complicated than that. But just try to explain that to folks and you will get a really strong reaction, because you will make other people unhappy with gray thinking. And often when people ask me a question, well, Jerry, is that right or wrong? Well, Jerry, is Obama right or is he wrong? Jerry, are you for Obama or against Obama? And do you know what my answer is? It's a lot more complicated than that. It's not just an either or. And I think the more mature we become, the more we realize life is more complicated. The more dysfunctional we are, the more we tend to see life in a very simple way. Good, bad, black, white, right, wrong. And there's nothing in the middle. Except that causes lots of problems. Emotional problems, family problems, and I actually think it comes out of dysfunctional families. Insecurities, fears. We learn these things and internalize these beliefs and emotional patterns growing up. As an adult, we often do not recognize them, or are aware of them, or even very much know that they're even happening within our thought process. But we certainly feel stuck in them. The good news is this: we can free ourselves from these patterns of beliefs and emotional reactive patterns which plague our daily lives and reactions and relationships. We don't have to live under the domination of black and white thinking. So what can we do to overcome all or nothing thinking? And again, all or nothing thinking is a real problem. And so often black and white thinking is a lack of options. And so doing reading about options, more reading about life, more reading about learning what normal is, can help us understand and believe and accept that there are option C's rather than just A's or B's. An Adult Child's Guide to What is Normal by John Friel, F-R-I-E-L, is a very good book for learning more about normalcy. And I think it can help you to get out of some of the black and white thinking. Asking others and getting advice from those who are further in their recovery or maturity, and seeking help from those that you trust for your perspective help. In other words, when you feel very all or nothing, or feel very A or B, or feel very black or white, then that's the time to talk to someone and say, help me broaden my perspective so that I'm not caught in just these two pendulum options. Asking yourself, what is the gray option? An option that would embrace both the black and the white. What would the answer be if both were right? Because I think certainly on extremes, both actually have right perspectives. It's just they've gone to the extreme in those rightnesses and reject some of the other rightnesses on the other side. Ask yourself, if I choose the gray, or choose an option C and not just A or B, what is the downside for me? Or what is it I would fear if I chose a gray side? If I would say it's more complicated than that. It's not just simply yes or no. I think also we can actively resist our perfectionism, because all or nothing thinking has a lot to do with perfectionism. Choose being mediocre. Increase your tolerance for discomfort over things not being perfect. Let the dishes sit overnight on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And tell yourself, my house can be clean even if those dishes aren't done. And I'm a good housewife, and I'm a good mother, and I'm a good parent if I allow that to happen. It's not either or. That if the dishes aren't done, then I'm a bad housewife. If the dishes are done, I'm a totally good housewife. Feeling Good in New Mood Therapy is another good book by David Burns, and it gives some helpful exercises for perfectionism. Also, Conquer Your Critical Inner Voice by Robert Firestone is another resource I would suggest. I think we also want to stop the perfectionistic language, using those extreme words such as always, never, all the time, can't, completely, total, in every situation, every time, totally worthless or unworthy, failure. These words and emotions they evoke increase black and white thinking and the pain of all or nothing thinking. We have to reduce those words in our language. And then another trick that I think can be really helpful, because it actually is rational, and that's using the percentage method. Use percentages and think percentages. Rather than either or, think percentage. He loves me 20% right now, not 0. I feel unworthy to a 50% level. I'm mad at him, but I still love him to a 60%. I only have to do it 51% correctly. Even though he hurts me, I do believe he still loves me to a 25% level. I always fail. No, you don't. I have failed about 37% in my life. If that would happen to me, I would be 80% sad. Remember, most of the time, we are not 100% anything, or feel or believe 100%. anything. And it's okay to identify those percentages, because the 100% feel is what gets us into trouble. I hope this video has been a help to you. I hope you'll give me a call or you'll email me. The information's on your screen. Join Family Tree Counseling YouTube channel. If you live in the Indianapolis area, come and see me. If not, I offer Skype and Facetime counseling. We have clients worldwide. I often hear folks who are unhappy with their present therapist and feel they're not making the progress they need to make or they desire. You're not limited by the area in which you live. You can join many people who are benefiting from online therapy. Give me a call. I want to thank you for watching today, and have a great day.